And welcome back, everybody, to another Wednesday edition of Omnibros Live, part of the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's your boy Gio here from A Week in Geekdom, joined by my good friend and brother from another mother, Comics Guide. Lou, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Sorry that we started a little bit late for the live crowd, but I've been really busy today, and I was not ready to start at 8 p.m. On the dot. So I'm like, yeah, I'll extend it for a couple minutes.
That's okay. It happens to the best of us, dude. Don't worry about it.
So, there are a couple of topics, but I just want to let everybody know that I finally started watching the freaking Squid Game show. I'm on episode 6, I think. 6?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I should finish it tonight, I think. So maybe next week we'll do a proper talk about it, proper review on it, and maybe talk about survival drama shows and stuff like that. Because immediately after I started watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is straight up Kaiji, the manga and anime. Same style of show and everything. But I dug it. It's fun so far.
Cool, man. Cool. So, wait, you're on episode 6, or have you finished episode 6?
I think I finished episode 6.
Okay, that's the one where everybody talks about. That's the big, oh my god one.
I gotta be honest with everybody. Not as shocking as I was hoping it to be, because I heard from some people like, this is the most shocking thing ever. I'm like, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm desensitized from all of this murder on screen and whatnot. But it's fun. It's a fun show. But like, I don't know. We'll see how it ends. I'm looking forward to the season finale, series finale, whatever. I'm pretty sure they're going to milk it someday.
Yeah.
So, because I read online that they even want to make a video game out of it. Which
really,
I don't know. I mean, can you do a video game out of Survival? I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But how innovative would it be? I don't know.
I will say this: there are several reveals towards the end. I won't spoil it for you, I promise.
Yeah.
I called the bigger reveals from a mile away. I was like, well, they're telegraphing this way too much. So this is obviously what this is.
Interesting.
I am curious how you feel about it, because I personally loved it. I think it's just a tad bit overhyped. I really enjoyed it. I love the series. It's probably going to be in my top 5 for the end of the year.
The video game would just be an excuse to adapt Korean kid games. I will say, I don't know how to say this actually. The response from people for this show reminds me that reminds me of when a really awesome anime
Mm,
uh, starts and people like it and they all talk about it, and then they just forget about the genre because it's
yeah.
animated. And I feel like with Squid Game, it kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, there's an obscene amount of hype for this show.
Mm,
I
mm-hmm.
don't think a lot of people that are hyped about it are gonna go ahead and jump to other Asian cinema or Asian TV
Yeah.
shows and stuff like that. I think this is just like a one-off for a lot of people.
I
Uh,
will say.
yeah,
So I mentioned this, I think last week, either Monday or last Wednesday. My fiance is typically like the litmus test for this type of stuff for me because she's really, she is. She's not super into like the geek properties and stuff like that. Like she'll watch the MCU stuff.
yeah,
She started binging after this a whole bunch of Korean and Japanese shows after this. So I was like, oh, okay.
nice.
Um, she started Alice in Borderland. She was really in love with that,
I saw
and
that. Yeah,
she finished Erased, and she really loved Erased
erase the anime or erase the TV show.
TV show,
Oh, okay,
and she really loved that. So, eh, maybe it is
nice.
going to be a little bit of a gateway for certain people.
I hope so because there is a lot to enjoy from
Hmm.
Korean drama and action stuff, as well as
Hmm.
Japanese and Chinese
Yeah,
television. So hopefully we do get that.
yeah, yeah. I like you said. I hope that it does. I would have thought it would have been Parasite that would have brought a lot of people in actually watching Korean cinema and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Mm.
It seems
I
like
think
you're spot on with your
I
assessment that it blows up and then goes away.
I think it didn't work for Parasite because of the subject of the movie,
Hmm.
and it's a drama compared to this, which has hyper violence, which America loves hyper violence. Whereas Parasite, it's a little bit more cerebral, methodical, and uh, dramatic compared
Yeah.
to Squid Game.
Well,
Also,
re-
yeah, go ahead.
no, no, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make a dumb joke. If you want to play, James said there's already a Squid Game video game called Fortnite. Actually, go play Splatoon because that's the true Squid Game. Anyways,
Ah,
yeah,
I like that. Um, to kind of jump because you had made a point earlier about where there's a trend where an anime or Korean something will blow up in pop culture and then it fades away. Attack on Titan was like that a few years ago. Do you remember the hype for season 1 on Netflix? And then nothing.
yep, yeah. But a lot of people watched it, and they were intrigued by the kooky concept of giant naked monsters
Yeah.
eating people. But when they realized, oh, it's an anime, and most of the episodes are them world building and discussing the lore of the universe of that universe,
Mhm.
they didn't come back for season two. Obviously, there was a huge gap between the first two seasons. They were still trying to animate that stuff and whatnot, but a
Mhm.
lot of people did not come back for Attack on Titan. It was just a novelty for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oxmeat Pete, are you watching it subbed or dubbed? Come on, man. You know me. I'm not even going to answer that. I'm going to leave it to your imagination. It's subbed. No, I can't. I cannot do dubbed live action.
Yeah.
Anime gets a pass because I'll even though I'll watch it subbed, I do enjoy a few dubs, and I do watch some of the Blu-rays dubbed to leave them on the background. But for live action stuff, I cannot do dubbed content. Sorry, it's too weird for me. Then
I
news, wheat farmers. Ah, another farmer from Otaku's farm. Hell yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you typically. Subtitles, but I'm watching it with my fiance. She doesn't really like the subtitle thing,
Yeah.
so
No, I totally understand that.
kind of have to compromise. So we do the
Yeah.
dub.
It's just I'm so used to subbed things these days that I no, I wanted to listen to it in the native tongue, native language.
Oh, dude, I am totally the same way, especially when I play RPGs like Final Fantasy or Persona or anything like that. If the option is available, I go with the original Japanese sub.
Yeah, I started playing Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch, and for the life of me, I mean, God bless, they do an amazing job of translating these games, but I cannot stand the Dragon Quest dubs where everybody is British with really funky accents.
Hmm.
Like I'm watching an epic British show or something like that. I mean, peace and love to everybody from overseas, but I can't. I need to switch over to the Japanese. Um, oh, I did read about this. I generally prefer subs, so apparently the subs missed a bit of translation for the show. Yeah, I'm interested to see the differences. After I'm done with the show, I'm gonna read up on it to see
Hmm.
what got lost in translation. I guess.
Hmm.
Rose Gray, thank you for joining.
Hey, thanks
Um,
for having us, man.
Jared says, I just finished Lucifer. I'll have to watch Squid Game next. Not a fan of Lucifer, but yeah, go ahead, watch Squid Game and come back next week. I'll probably do a review on it on this channel.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah.
Do both depending on how my eyes are doing. Yeah. But a long time ago, I couldn't eat and watch anime at the same time because you're eating but I've mastered that talent now. I'm good to go. If I'm watching an anime, it's subbed. I want to eat while I'm watching it, usually at lunchtime. So yeah, my weeb powers have ascended to another level, I guess.
Have you found yourself being able to understand certain words and almost small sentences since you do consume a lot of anime and you watch a lot of it?
Yes, but if you put me
Okay.
in the spot, I will freeze up and I cannot for the life of me tell you what any of it means.
Okay.
But if I do watch a show raw, as the kids like to say, if you sail the high seas on the internet,
Hmm.
I understand some words here and there where I get
Mhm.
the gist of what's happening. Um, it took me a while, but yeah, I'm trying to learn the names of the seiyus, or in English, the voice actors,
Mhm.
and that has given me a lot of trouble. Like I'm starting to recognize a ton of voices, but I'm not used to reading and repeating Japanese names,
Mm.
especially or Korean names with like Squid Game, for example. So it's really difficult for me to say, "Oh, this actor," I don't know their names. That's the one thing that I'm lacking.
Well, isn't voice acting is very big in Japan. It's actually looked upon fondly, isn't it? Like if you
Yeah,
have a career in voice acting, that's a pretty big thing. Versus here in the United States, it's kind of like yeah, Troy Baker, Nolan North, like the four guys that everybody knows.
unfortunately, in the U.S. Over here, it's you either do video games or you do North American animated shows like Simpsons, Family Guy, stuff
Mhm.
like that, and they won't recognize the talent that goes into dubbing, which is harder than regular voice acting because you're matching,
Mhm.
you're lip singing to the original video, and video game voice acting. A lot of people just know video game voice acting from the Call of Duties and the fighting games, but there's a lot to that, and it goes unrecognized mostly.
Mhm.
Whereas in Japan, you have whole talent agencies
Wow.
working with that, and it's a big deal when you get signed on to a label or a
Yeah.
company, and they give you hundreds of scripts to work with. And if you're especially the female seiyus, they get a lot more work because of the
Yeah.
idol stuff and the singing and music careers. So it's a whole shebang over there compared to North America.
Huh. Yeah, it's kind of weird here because it seems like here in the States for voice acting, you have the it guy where he's in everything for X amount of years. For a while it was
Yeah.
Nolan North, it was John DiMaggio for a while,
Hmm.
and some would argue it still is because DiMaggio still gets work
Yeah, he's
constantly.
still working. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets a lot of work and his resume is incredible.
Yep.
Lately it's been Troy Baker because Troy Baker is in just about everything
Yeah,
lately.
Troy does a lot of video games.
Hmm.
I love Steve Bloom, but he's always one of the reliable
Yeah.
actors to get.
Yep.
Um, who else? There's a bunch, yeah. But
What's her
I get
what's
what
her
you mean.
name? What's her name? She played she was a character in Last of Us 2. She played not
Laura
Ellie.
Bailey.
Laura Bailey. Yeah, Laura
Yeah.
Bailey gets a lot of work. Yeah.
And man, thank you for joining, buddy. Aren't most of the dubs nowadays for anime and video games overseen by the Japanese creators? I could have sworn the English voice actors for Final Fantasy VII Remake had to be approved or were chosen by the original creators. Yes, specifically for high profile releases. However, let's say, for example, Food Wars, the anime and manga,
Hmm.
I doubt that's going to get a huge oversight from the original production team. Whereas Final Fantasy Remake or Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah.
or Demon Slayer or something that's really popular right now, uh, it depends on the property. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of the producers from Japan, they do have a say in what gets or who voices whom.
A question. So I think not that the hype has died down, but
Yeah.
I think Demon Slayer is not necessarily on the way out, but it's not at its peak anymore. I still think it's incredibly popular, but it's not as it was maybe a year or two ago. Do you,
Well, the thing with Demon Slayer, one, COVID hit,
yeah.
and it sort of stopped that momentum a little bit
Yeah.
because I do know there were some delays for season two, but it's still
Hmm.
coming out. It's coming out
Hmm.
in December, and you got to remember that there's a break because of the movie. The
It's true.
movie did extremely well. It is the best grossing anime film of all time,
Hmm.
and the Blu-ray comes out in December, but they finally got the license to stream it. So if you have Crunchyroll, you can finally watch the movie
Okay.
uh, streaming, and that will start a resurgence, I guess, because a lot of people did not go to theaters and are waiting for a streaming option.
Hmm.
So now they can do that, even though it's not free. But
Yeah.
beats having to pay theater ticket prices, where you can just for $7 or $8 you can watch it on Crunchyroll. And they're recutting the movie into a 10 episode arc for TV that's currently airing right now. So you have the
Huh.
option of watching the TV cut or the original movie.
That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, do you think Chainsaw Man will be the next Demon Slayer? I think it has the potential to.
Uh, yes. Yes. Simply because both properties, even though they're really different, they
Yeah.
involve demons and monsters and whatnot, but um, high profile studios. UFO Table does Demon Slayer, and Chainsaw Man will be done by Studio Mappa. And
Yeah.
Mappa is on a roll. They're the hottest kids in the room right now, and that series looks really promising. So I think it's
Mhm.
going to blow up big time next year.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. I think if they play it right, it could be that hit where they're like where people that aren't even really into anime but like love Demon Slayer and like the really popular stuff, they catch the first episode and they go, "What the fuck is this crazy shit, man?"
They need to air it on Adult Swim,
Yes.
and they need a high profile release. Although it does have it on Hot Topic, and I
Yeah.
guarantee you, a lot of people will tune in for that.
Yeah. Because
A lot of
that
people that don't do anime online and stuff.
that is a series that is ripe for marketing, and if they play it right, and you stick that stuff either on, I would even go maybe day and date on Hulu because I think Hulu's been doing something like that lately too with certain things, right? I
Yeah,
know My Hero Academia does Hulu.
Hulu, they work with Funimation
Yeah,
very closely, and some of the shows each season they do get aired on Hulu as well. But it's
yeah,
a partnership, I think, or something. So we'll
and
see.
based on the trailer we've seen, that shit looks fucking great.
Yeah, nearly movie quality for a
Yeah,
TV show. That is amazing.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Shout out to a bunch of people in the chat. Thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Remember to hit the like and all that fun stuff. And let me remind you that this show is brought to you by our wonderful sponsor, that's InStockTrades.com, where
Hmm.
you can get your favorite manga, your favorite comic, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback, hardcover, all that fun stuff. IST, as the kids like to say, in stock trades, where you get all your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you order $50 or more in said order, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging at instocktrades.com.
.com.
Yeah. Sup, Shane Campbell? Thank you for joining.
Dude, you are built like a brick shit house. Holy
Yep.
shit. If that's really you, man, good job.
Yep. Oh, our buddy Matt is here. What up?
What's up, Matt?
Austin, not an anime fan, I assume.
Mhm.
Oh, not a, sorry, Austin. Sorry, you are an anime fan because you do have the Brand of Sacrifice. Not an anime, but when is season 2 of Primal coming out? I haven't heard anything of it. I would love to get a season 2 out of that. Have you seen Primal?
I have heard very nice things about Primal. I saw the first episode, I want to say, of it years ago when it came out, and that shit rocked.
Yeah.
Primal was so good.
That is a
dude.
work of art. And
Yeah.
the fact that there's no voice acting, it's just, well, there is voice acting, but more like grunts and stuff, but
Mhm.
there are no voices. It's solid. That's the power of animation right there.
Yeah. We almost got a Popeye movie from him, and then they decided to do the Emoji movie instead.
Yay. So real random here. Aside from dubbing in anime and Korean and Japanese cinema, I learned about this 2 hours ago, and I'm excited. I had no idea that they're coming out with a Lobster Johnson omnibus. Did you know about this?
Ah, no, I didn't.
Finally,
That's great.
take a look at this. Here's the
Wow.
cover. So I'm excited because that was the one book that a lot of people wanted from the Mignolaverse, and it
Yeah.
didn't get an omnibus until now. So that's awesome.
Yeah, they've been seemingly going back and collecting a lot of stuff that's either been missing or out of print or stuff that people have been asking for a long time to get an omnibus. Did they do Edward Gray? Have they collected all that in an omnibus form?
Is that the
Witchfinder, I think is.
Witchfinder? Yeah,
Yeah.
that has an omnibus release.
Okay.
But the sad news is that this is coming out March 22 of 2022. So you're gonna have to wait.
Wow. Well worth it. This is fun stuff.
Yeah.
The Lobster Johnson stuff is always really fun. It's very pulpy.
Yeah.
But you'll have a good time with it if you're into that stuff.
James, Gio, are you ready for Aquaman King of Atlantis tomorrow on HBO Max? James, it's like Oxmeat Pete asking me about subs or dubs. You know the answer. Come on, buddy. I'm not gonna say anything, but yes, I am. I am super excited.
It looks fun.
It looks a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Witchfinder Omnibus Volume 2 before the end of the year. I think I still have the trade paperbacks, and that's why I never upgraded.
Mhm.
But Witchfinder's fun. I never finished the whole series, but what I've read, I liked.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about movies, and we were kind of asked last Monday, but I'm going to share it anyways. Let's talk a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with our buddy Will Poulter playing Adam Warlock. Will,
Yeah.
fan of the show. He's a huge fan of Omnibros. He has been cast as Adam Warlock, finally. I'm very interested to see what the hell they do with Adam Warlock because there are no Infinity Stones or Thanos to worry about. So kind of a little bit late to the party, I think.
That's kind of his gig, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you can still do fun storylines and the whole Magus thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, same way. I remember watching Endgame in theaters, and I still have that tiny little hope that at one point we were going to get that epic Easter egg of either Silver Surfer or Adam Warlock for some reason, because those two characters are my favorite things about the Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
Yeah.
We didn't get that at all.
I don't know. How
Especially
great.
that scene. Yeah.
So it would have came completely out of nowhere, but instead of Captain Marvel, how great would it have been in that scene if it was the Silver Surfer that came down instead of Captain Marvel?
A recreation of the scene where he's standing on his board and like he launches himself forward to try and snatch the gauntlet.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that. That's one of my favorite parts of the story. One of my favorite moments from that comic book. And yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to get that unless they do a What If season 2. What if Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer were in Endgame instead of Captain Marvel
Yeah.
with that terrible CGI animation that from What If?
What do you think of the casting? Because I like him. He's a great actor.
I think he looks the part.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in all the pictures that you see online, but in certain headshots, he does look like Adam Warlock. So I
Yeah.
think it's solid. I'm a fan. I dig it.
Yeah. Same boat. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with the character now because, like you said, his story is heavily tied into Thanos and the Infinity Stones and all that other stuff. So I'm curious how they're going to do it, but knowing James Gunn, he's going to do great. He's probably going to change the character and take some liberties, is my guess. Same thing he's done with the Guardians, same thing he's done with certain characters for Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't get too hung up on the idea of this being the Adam Warlock from the comics. I
Yeah.
think this is going to be something completely different, something maybe that we're not expecting because that's just James Gunn. And I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's about damn time that we get Adam Warlock. It's been teased the last two films because it was teased in the first one.
It was teased back in Thor 2 when we
Yeah.
saw the cocoon,
Yeah.
and everybody went crazy for that, and nothing happened. And then in the first Guardian, there was an Easter egg or something, and then in the second one, we actually saw the capsule thing with the
Mhm.
gold people.
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, and for comic book fans, this is something that I know a lot of them have been looking forward to. So we'll see if they pull this off. I mean, for me, James Gunn still has not made a bad movie yet, so I'm all in. We know that before we were supposed to get Guardians of the Galaxy, if not this year, next year for sure. Before they fired him and before COVID and all that stuff happened, because the script for this movie has been done for a while, for a long time. So
We are getting the Christmas special first, though,
yeah, I think he'll pop up
which
in that.
I think there'll be something maybe at the end, a reference or something. I think I think Adam Warlock will have something to do with Galactus.
Cool.
That's a nice way to update the character, and instead of dealing with Thanos and the Gauntlet, let's have him be involved with either freaking Annihilus, because a lot of people want Annihilation or something, or Galactus and the
Mm.
Heralds and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's my crazy prediction. I'll
we'll,
probably it won't happen, but
yeah.
we'll see. Rick Nelson, thank you for joining, buddy. Gunn said the Christmas special will tie heavily into the third movie. Nice.
Okay. Okay. I mean, hey, gun. So actually, who do you think? Because I think it's been heavily teased that one of the Guardians isn't going to come out of this next film alive. Who do you think's going? I say Dave Batista. I think
I,
Drax is done.
I think Drax, or if the Mario movie is super successful, Chris Pratt be like, I want that Nintendo money and I don't care about the MCU anymore. But I think Drax is gone. Yeah.
I think so too. Because Dave is getting older, and he's starting to take on, I think, more serious roles, and
Yeah.
he's starting to
And
become more picky.
and he said he wanted out, right? Or something like it'd be okay if you were out of the role or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. He's talked about how rigorous it is, the workout routines and stuff like that, to get into that kind of physical shape. And the guy is pushing over 50 at this point easily. So I get it. And, he's still in incredible shape for his age. And for all accounts, from what I've heard, he's just the sweetest guy.
Mhm.
So he's starting to take on more roles where he's playing his age or he's taking more dramatic stuff. I mean, the guy, if you look at his resume, he's actually got a pretty fucking impressive resume. He was in Blade Runner, he's in Dune now. He's got
Mhm.
a few things in his back catalog. And he kind of went the other way from The Rock, where The Rock is just that big, dumb Hollywood action movie star. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Rock movies are fun. Dave is kind of looking at more, I don't know, more serious stuff.
Yeah, or dramatic roles and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious. I think this will be it for him. I don't blame him because the makeup, the working out, and all that stuff has got to be hell.
I know a lot of people like his take because it's very comedic. Uh, I was a little bit upset that Drax didn't really do much at
Yeah.
all. He was just a muscle dude, and that's it. And half the motivation for the character was gone in regards to Thanos and Moondragon, his daughter, and all that stuff. I really wanted to see that. I'm a huge fan of Cosmic Marvel,
Yeah.
and I don't mind changing stuff around at all. Trust me, I really don't mind at all. But I really wanted to see Drax have a go at Thanos at some point, but we didn't get that.
We didn't get it. We didn't get It's such a departure from which hey, you know what? He's highly literal Worf. That's pretty much what he is for the Star Trek fans out there. Um, it's such a departure from what he is in the comics, and I don't mind that. But his name is Drax the Destroyer, and for 2 films, he hadn't done much destroying. He gets pretty much his ass kicked for both films.
He didn't destroy shit in those movies
Yeah.
except our hearts.
Yeah,
Um, Same with Gamora, the deadliest woman in the galaxy.
yeah,
I don't think she's the deadliest woman in the galaxy, but whatever.
yeah.
So, without spoiling things, we're going to shift back to comics a little bit. Without spoiling things, because I'm not up to date and you're going to be mad at me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share this story because we have to. Where's the link here? Saga, the seminal sci-fi fantasy comic, returns finally in 2022.
Jesus.
What do you think about that?
About damn time.
A
About
32-month hiatus, according to Newsarama.
And manga fans just laugh like, "Oh, you silly American."
You silly goose. Come on. Delays. But yeah, I think I have the 3 deluxe library editions or whatever,
Yeah.
and I only read the first 2. So I knew about when the 3rd book came out, the delay was already there, the hiatus, sorry. So I said, you know what, I'll wait. And I've kept waiting, and I kind of forgot to read the rest of what's available. So I have no idea what's happening in Saga.
Dude, Saga is, man, it ended on such a huge cliffhanger that I absolutely really loved. I mean, I kind of saw it coming for a bit away. I was like, oh, you're going this way. Still, it was very heartbreaking. I can't wait. Huh?
No, I'm looking at the text. I hope it doesn't spoil anything just for fans.
Okay.
Let me, okay, continue.
I personally can't wait to see where the story goes from here. Saga a few years ago. Geez, that book came out in 2014.
12, I think.
12? Wow.
Let me check.
Damn, it's been that long.
Let me check.
So
Saga.
that book caught fire in pop culture, like something I haven't seen in a long time. And since then,
March 2012.
man, I can't believe it's been that long. Jesus. I have not seen something catch fire in mainstream since Saga. But the heat has just died down on that book, mainly because it's been gone for 3 years basically at this point.
Yep.
I kind of have to wonder if maybe this is why The Last Man didn't do so hot. So maybe Vaughn's like, well, all right, we're probably not going to get a second season of Y. So my schedule kind of opened up a little bit. Let's kind of jump back into this.
Yeah. Also, I watch a lot of I don't watch a lot of content similar to what I do on YouTube. I watch like video game stuff, but on occasions I like to traverse the internet and YouTube and watch people doing like anime and manga tour videos in their homes. And a lot of people have graphic novels, like a very small section, because they're not used to Western comics. But almost all the freaking time, everybody has a Saga Volume 1 in their collection. It really resonated with the manga community and the non-comic book readers.
Yeah.
and that's something. That's powerful because you were able to breach that gap and reach out to different sectors of the geek spectrum uh, selection. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very it reaches a whole different a whole broad spectrum of a lot of different people. It touches on social issues, on sexuality, on transgender people, on being gay, da 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 da. The list goes on and on. So he painted such a broad stroke inside of that book, and all the characters are really solid. That I can see why it blew up and became the thing that it was. I just have to wonder if the fire is even still there for a lot of fans, or if this is just going to be like, yeah, we've got a story. Let's kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, we'll see. I do like this comment from Cleveland Brown. That means the deluxe hardcover of Saga will be out in 2025.
Yeah,
Yay! Got to keep on waiting for that.
I have a guess as to how this is going to end. Saga, I, but I don't want to give it away. But if you've read Y and if you've read Ex Machina, Vaughn kind of has a certain tendency for his endings of what he does in both of those books.
Interesting.
So he's kind of setting this up, and I'm kind of wondering, okay, this is probably where you're going to go with the story.
Yeah. We are Venomnidog. That's my favorite Omnidog alt account. Saga also has one hell of a first panel too. That's what I loved when I was actually buying it in singles when it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that each issue, the first panel was something shocking to the reader.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody nude or whether it's a risque situation or whether it's something bloody, something's always happening in the first page of an issue.
Hey, hold on one second, man. I'll be back.
Yeah. Cleveland Brown says there's also a not safe for work scenes surprise for the reader. I remember when they had to censor, I think it was from the first couple of issues with the gay sexual stuff, scenes or something that they had to. I don't know if they censored it, but a lot of people were upset. You know, the typical crowd, you know, the ones. So I thought that was pretty funny because nobody was reading it, but they were complaining about it as usual. Do you remember that when they did the whole the gay sex scenes in the TV heads, and people were upset, and they were demanding that that they censored the comic or something? It never happened, but that was hilarious.
Look, man, at this point, at this day and age, everybody's offended by something, and everybody wants to get on their high horse and jump on any bandwagon on Twitter and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
I knew nothing was going to come out of it because everything blows over in like 3 days at this point. Nobody cares after 3 days of complaining and arguing about stuff.
Speaking of complaining and arguing, let's talk about it.
I know.
You know what I'm going to link to.
Yeah, I do.
Because we have to talk about it.
Yep, we do.
Because it made news worldwide, and it appeared on like CNN and Fox.
Yep.
And every single person out there had an opinion about it, and apparently we found out that a lot of people have no reading comprehension and they don't understand what they're reading because they don't understand this character, the son of Kal-El. They don't understand that Lois Lane, you write it in a certain way, not the way that a lot of people are tweeting about it, making it out to be a dude instead of a woman. It's a mess. It's perfect for 2021 with the hot mess that is the world right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I understand the need to make these announcements to hype people up, for them to get the book and be excited and spread the word. That's awesome. Good for them. I'm a fan of the reveal being a surprise in the book, because then you can make the argument, oh, well, this is just them trying to boost up sales because the book isn't doing that well, so let's introduce this factor. And I think it sort of lessens I might be out of term here, but it lessens the impact a little bit. I'm used to the idea of being surprised by an awesome reveal like this when you actually pick up the floppy and read it for the first time. I don't know how you feel about that.
So before I die, I have a question for you because I know how I feel about this. Do you feel that them putting this out there like this and stuff like that is kind of disingenuous to the true intent of the writer, and it's more of, we know this is going to catch a lot of flack, we know this is going to get a lot of attention, but we're putting it out because we know it's going to sell books, rather than what the true intent of the creator is, which is he just wants to tell a good story?
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think I do praise DC because they're always willing to go for epic reveals like this.
Yeah.
Um, but I think they maybe wanted to cash in a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, Nothing wrong with that because
No.
I mean that's great. More representation, more of reality in comics as it should be. And if if it's pissing certain people off on the internet, you're doing a damn good job, and I love it.
Look, so there's a few things about this. I always look at it from different ways. I look at it as, does this fundamentally change who the character is? Is there a long history of established the character being one way and now they're just changing it for the sake of changing it? Because that in and of itself, I think, is kind of a bit insulting. Um,
Yeah.
and Jonathan Kent, this character, is relatively new. He's been around, I think, 2015, and they've never established what exactly his sexuality is. So with that sense, I'm like, okay, well, I don't care. One. Two, I'm really looking forward to the day where this just isn't news anymore. Where it's just, oh, okay, the character is, like I said, this is just who he is at this point.
Yeah.
Um, because sensationalizing this, I think, while it's good that it brings more eyes to certain characters and more representation, I'm never against representation. I think that's fantastic. You want to have these characters represented in your books. I think it's important to examine what the intent of the story is and what the intent of the writer is, which Tom Taylor, fucking phenomenal writer. I'm not questioning that he wrote this for pure shock value or anything like that. I think as long as it works within the story, then yeah, man, I don't see any problems with this. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna.
Look at this quote from Taylor. He tweeted after the news broke: "The story was going to break anyway, and rumors, some very misinformed, were getting out there. Too many people see comics before they hit shelves. Would have loved to have let this play out in the comic, but this was the next best option." I don't know. I'm still a fan of not saying anything and let readers be surprised. Because at the end of the day, rumors are that. They're just rumors. And if you don't put out a statement, it's just going to be a rumor until people read it and then you find out and you're surprised and you're excited and all that stuff. I don't know. It lessens to me the impact of a moment like this. And because it's just all over the news and people are talking about the character as a publicity stunt or something like that, where it's not. There's an intent from the writers there. Rose Gray says, "I'm just mad that this wasn't announced during pre-orders. Now I'm going to have to buy aftermarket. That sucks. I hope it's not too expensive. It is a business. Promo machine is good for business. Yeah, no, I get it totally. It's just a little bit the artsy fartsy guy in me didn't want that to happen that way. I'm pretty sure his computer froze, and we're back.
Hey,
Computer froze? Did your PC froze or laptop?
no, just the Wi-Fi in this place is terrible sometimes.
Oh, gotcha. Don't worry.
Let
So,
me try to sign back on my laptop real quick, okay?
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So.
Hey. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Yeah, man. I just.
Oh, uh-oh. Froze again. Get it. I like the guy on Twitter who was yelling at Donny Cates about writing it. That was amazing. I love that so much. Clueless people that have never read it. Did you see this, Luke?
Huh? Hey, am I
People,
still here?
people, yeah, you're here.
Okay.
People were yelling at Donny Cates because they thought he was the creator of the comic book,
Oh my
and
god.
Donny was like, "I've never written a DC comic in my life. I don't know
Oh
what's
my
happening."
god. Yeah. So, dude, that's that. What I just listed off are my qualifications of it. If it doesn't, if as long as it's part of the story and it works, I don't care. But if it's done for shock value, I think that's more insulting. And for the love of God, can we stop? Can we get away from the fact that every gay, bi, and transgender character has purple hair? Is that the standard now in movies, comics, and video games that they have to
Yeah,
have purple hair?
purple hair, and his name is the reporter is shoot Jay Nakamura, which that's a weird name. I'm sorry, that's a lot to unpack there.
Dude, I like I told you, I was more offended by the purple hair thing. I'm like the Avery, it's just such a fucking lame trend that every writer and everybody's doing right now. I think they just get away from that, please.
Yeah, I agree with that. Moving on to something a little bit more kooky. You know that we have Batman Day, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get ready for McFarlane Day.
Oh God.
It's going to be super edgy. Yeah, so McFarlane announced on Twitter, if I remember correctly, that he's doing the first ever McFarlane Day at GameStop. Stay tuned for some amazing deals and exclusive pre order launches. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, good for him. If it works, that's awesome. So apparently, he's going to announce some toy related things. I do know, and this article here from Games Radar, it does mention that he's going to be at the DC fandom. And I was thinking, why is he at the DC stuff? And I forgot that it's because of the action figures. So they're going to announce new figures. So good for Todd. He's making it happen.
How many of those figures will be Batman?
All of them.
Yes.
All of them. I'm
Yeah.
so disappointed with McFarlane Toys and DC. When they made that announcement, I was so hyped. I was so
Mhm.
excited. I'm like, man, they're gonna do like, we're gonna get Aquaman. I'm gonna be able to do a Justice League Dark. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of stuff. So far, I think like 90 for 95, 90 to 95% of what's out there is Batman stuff.
Mhm.
Batman, dark metal, or death metal, whatever. And then the random stuff like Batman 66 or Tim Burton Batman, the Arkham games Batman, or the Curse of the White Knight Batman. It's just Batman all day, every day. I'm so over that.
Yeah, no, dude. I don't buy figures simply because I have enough bad collection habits as it is.
Yeah.
I just don't need another one.
Fortunately, I don't have space, so I can't get them. And that's the best thing that can happen. Unless I make room or sell stuff, which I don't want to sell anything,
Right.
I'm good. The only thing I would get for McFarlane would be if they put out, if I'm able to build a Justice League Dark. That I would
Oh,
honestly build, like
oh,
a Constantine next to a Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and who else was on that team? Deadman, stuff like that.
why do you think McFarlane Toys hasn't branched out a lot more? I mean, there's a lot of characters that would look badass on a shelf. I mean, like you listed off a few. Swamp Thing
Yeah,
alone would be awesome.
he did do a Doctor Fate, but it was for the Injustice line, I think, and he did a Teen Titans Cyborg from the animated show, which looks really cool. A couple Green Lanterns, which not a huge fan of the face sculpt, but they look cool.
Mm.
And the most bizarre thing, he did a figure, or they did a figure, McFarlane Toys, of Etrigan from Demon Knights. And I need that in my life. I want to get that figure. Have you seen that?
No, no, I haven't seen that.
Let me get a picture for you. Um,
God,
I
I
need
miss
this in my life.
I miss Demon Knights.
It looks amazing. Let me share the screen here. So
Wow.
I was so enamored by this. I'm like, let's freaking go. We're gonna do Dark Universe stuff from DC, and now after that, we got like 100 more Batman figures. I don't know, but this looks really cool. I'm all in for this.
And you know what? We're gonna get 100 more when that Batman movie drops next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gonna be like 3 Batmen and 1 Zodiac Killer, Riddler,
Hmm.
and James Gordon.
Yep. Spot on. This looks badass, dude. I love this.
And the build a figure will be the Batmobile,
Oh my god.
the hot rod Batmobile. I do like, by the way, speaking of that Batman movie, I do like that they designated that movie as Earth One, I think,
Hmm.
or Earth Two, something like that.
Hmm.
I dug that. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I love the multiverse. That's great. So the regular DC stuff is the main universe, and offshoots like Pattinson will be Earth One or Two or something. I don't know.
Okay. I'm cool with that. I mean, they've already this is nothing new. I gotta hand it to DC though. They are not afraid to just do jump into the multiverse stuff. Just hog wild, and they've been doing it for a few years at this point with the Flash TV show and how that's all been tying into everything. And now we've got Flashpoint that's coming out, and we know Tim Burton's Batman universe is involved in this, and all these other universes are going to be tying into this. So, I'm I am very much looking forward to Flashpoint. I'm looking forward to that movie. So,
Before Marvel with the oh my god, what do you call it? The multiverse.
hmm
Before all of that, DC was already crossing over the Arrowverse with the DCEU, because I do remember one of the Flash episodes. Ezra Miller shows up
yep,
in Flash getup and meets the other TV Flash, which I thought was awesome.
yeah,
So yeah, they're not afraid to mix things up. I love that. I love
yeah,
that chaos.
yeah. No, and I mean, so far to a certain extent, I think DC does the whole multiple universe thing a lot better than Marvel. Even in the comics, I think they pull it off a whole lot better than Marvel does.
Yep. Langston Brown, have you guys been reading the current Aquaman adjacent books? I'm a fake fan, Langston. No, I have not. Sorry. I want to, but I'm gonna wait for them to be in trades. I'll get the trades for that for
do,
the Aqualad and Black Manta book.
do you remember this was New 52 era, the Earth 2 Justice League book? I think it was written by James Robinson.
Yep.
Do you remember how that first issue starts off?
Yeah, let's kill off the Trinity.
Oh my god, that first issue was so good,
That's the
dude.
best thing that they could have done. That was amazing. I loved it.
Wow. And they're on the cover. The trilogy is on the cover, and you're thinking, oh man, this is going to be an alternate universe of Batman, Superman. Well, oh my God, they're all dead.
No, they're dead. So yeah, he essentially did the New 52 version of JSA in that book. That was awesome.
It's so good. It was very short lived, but if you can find it out there, I really recommend you guys check out that Earth 2 line.
That would be a cool omnibus. A lot of people are excited about other stuff, but I would get that. I would get
Hmm.
an Earth 2 omnibus.
Hmm.
That'd be fun. I think that was the start for Jorge Jimenez when it came to DC Comics. I might be wrong on that, but that was the first time I saw him drawing
Yeah.
DC characters. Because he did the Hawk Girl and Aqua Woman, which Aqua Woman was based off Beyonce, which was weird. Um, and then he added Green Lantern, which I
Yep.
remember everybody was all the non Green Lantern fans were upset because he was gay in that
Yep.
universe, and yet they've never read a comic book in their life. But okay, so yeah,
I'm sensing a pattern here that with that story and what just happened with Jonathan Kent. So
a lot of people, yeah, and like they were confusing like Hollywood is turning Superman gay. I'm like, first of all, It's DC Comics, and they're writing books. Hollywood has nothing to do with it, but okay.
it not to circle back to that, like just kind of moving on past that because we have, but that really hit mainstream news because even my fiance told me, she's like, "Did you know they made Superman gay?" And I'm like, hold on, it's not Superman. I had to go into this diatribe of no, it's not da 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 da, and that's part of the media, and that's it's a
And
shame.
and it's a shame because a lot of outlets reported it as because they knew what they were doing.
Absolutely,
Superman is bisexual, and what that's not what actually happened, and they were quick to capitalize on that for the
yeah,
clicks and views.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever. Gang, I got like 5 more minutes in the chat if you guys want to throw some questions at us about anything, about any TV show or video game. No, I do not have Metroid Dread yet. Just putting that out there because I know
Mm,
somebody's going to ask. Probably James. I don't have it. It hasn't arrived yet. I'm desperate. I need that in my life. It's like a
brother,
drug that I
it,
can't get.
it's so good. I'm telling you, my game of the year.
I know. Oh, and I saw that Kina finally has a physical edition for pre-order.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not going to pre-order, but I will buy it when it comes out. I
Yep.
usually wait a couple days, maybe a couple weeks after release, and I'll hit the good old eBay, and somebody will be selling it for less than a retail price. You learned that
Yeah.
secret from me, guys.
Yeah, this day and age, man, it's sometimes it's even better just to not buy games at launch, simply because games today come with so many bugs and so many problems, um, that it's kind of best just to wait maybe a few months till they iron a lot of that stuff out. Or in the case of Cyberpunk, just never get it at all.
Never get it at all. I saw that book. That book. Sorry, I saw that game. It's on sale for $10 on
Yeah.
Best Buy.
Yep. Still not worth it.
It hasn't been a year since release date, and it's already $10. I was so down by that. I was so excited. That was one of my most hyped games of all time. And then it got released, and
Yeah, well, it's part of the reason why Nintendo games never drop in price. Hello? Am I still here? Oh, I'm losing you. Oh,
which
I think we're
version of Cyberpunk? All of them. The hype
Hey,
for
there we
Cyberpunk.
go.
You hear?
Yeah, I thought I lost you for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, internet is all over the place.
Okay.
I might be lagging somewhat. Let me check. Fairly good. Whatever. We're nearly done. Which version of the Cyberpunk, Geo? All of them. I mean, I know the PC version was the best one, and that's saying something. Um, but I do know Xbox and PlayStation got hit pretty hard. DeVito, how do you go from Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk? I don't know. CD Project Red, man, they a bunch of
Oh
liars.
man. Yeah, it's still a mess. It's still a broken mess, man. I don't even know what happened to that. It's
Yep.
a shame.
Cameron, do you think Slam Dunk will get restocked soon? Nope. It will get restocked, but not anytime soon. Sorry.
Mhm.
Maybe next year, because next year we're getting the anime anniversary event or something like that. They're doing a film. By then, I could see them restocking or maybe reprinting the harder to find volumes. Um, I'm very much looking forward to Elden Ring next year. That looks solid. That looks a lot of fun.
Yep.
Metroid Dread is amazing. The only problem I'm having is I keep getting lost. I can't help you there, buddy. Sorry.
That's a Metroid game, man. That you're supposed to kind of get lost and try to figure your way around it a lot.
I remember when I first played the NES game. That map is enormous,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you get lost quick. But it's worth it at the end. Spoonful Brody says, "I want to buy Far Cry 6, but I want to get it for like 25. Give it 2 months. and you'll probably score it for like 30 free shipping on eBay. That's what I usually
Yep.
do. The only games that retain their value or hold their value are the Nintendo stuff, the first party Nintendo games.
Jeez,
Everything else, you can just wait.
you aren't kidding. I mean, Breath of the Wild is only now hitting what, $40 sometimes on sale.
Yep. And the new Zelda, the Skyward Sword remaster,
Yeah.
it's going for $40 on eBay, and that doesn't. I think that came out what, July or June?
Huh.
Yeah,
I have yet to play Skyward Sword, simply because I've heard it's not that great.
it's fine. It's not the best Zelda game, but I would play it.
Okay.
They did fix a lot of issues with the controls for Switch, so I think you would have a good time with it. But
Okay.
get it for cheap. Let's wait for a sale on Black Friday.
Mm.
Maybe it'll go down in price. I don't know. Oh, and man, I forgot I wanted to talk about this. Damn it. All right. 5 minutes. Luke, can you spare 5 minutes for me?
Yeah, man.
Okay. The new Resident Evil movie seems like it might be good. Finally, it seems they're following the premise of the game. What an idea. It only took about 20 years. Did you look at that? Did you see that trailer for Resident Evil?
No, no, I haven't seen it.
And man, I'm going to upset you, but I've seen that trailer like 5 times already, and I despise it, and yet I like it, and yet I'm indifferent towards it. I don't know what the hell is happening with that movie where I have so many mixed emotions. It honestly to me looks like the movie was like a capsule, like it was lost in time, and that was
Uh-huh.
supposed to come out in 2002
Okay.
because it looks of that era, and it has very spotty CG. At times, it looks like it's made for TV, but I don't know if that's intentional and they wanted to capture the cheesiness of the game, especially the first three or the first two from the PlayStation 1 era.
Okay.
But it's all over the place for me. I can't point it to a single thing for that trailer. You gotta watch it. It's weird, man. But I do love that they're following the premise of the game. Instead of
Okay.
adapting the first one, they're mixing one and two into one movie, and they're
Hmm.
introducing bad guys from Resident Evil 2 in the, you know. So I mean, in the trailer, you see the liquor, and he looks really cool. And then there's a shot of another bad guy with really crappy CGI. I'm like, what is happening here? What is this Bizarro Land? What's happening here? But anything is better than what we got back then. That, at the end of the day, is true.
You know what?
I, yeah, go ahead.
I'll defend that first movie.
I didn't like it. I remember watching it back in the day, and I still didn't like it.
Mm. I
I
still like it.
remember a school teacher for like Friday. We would watch movies sometimes, and he brought in the DVD, and we went into like the multimedia room at the school, and we
Hmm.
watched that with popcorn and all that stuff. Even then, I'm like, I don't know about this, guys, but everybody else was super hyped about it, so maybe it was just me. We are also getting live action Resident Evil on Netflix. We
True.
are. I didn't
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting a live action one.
Interesting. All
Yeah.
right. I'm not like the biggest hardcore fan on Resident Evil, but I am excited for the movie. I liked Resident Evil 1 and 2, but they lost me after that. What does it is that franchise like 7 or 8 movies, something like that?
The movies,
Yeah,
shit. I think they're
I think
they.
it's like 8 movies.
I think so. And then the last one, we're done. This is it. Like for real. We're not making any more of these movies. We're not putting the director's wife in these movies anymore. We're done.
Does the phrase Jill Sandwich show up? I don't think so. But I do like that also the trailer used the what's the song, the He-Man song from the meme. What's the name of that song? Um, oh gosh, let me look it up.
As soon as this is done, I'm looking this up because I have to. I can't believe this.
What is the song from the He-Man meme? Fabulous secret powers, commonly referred to as Hey Ya. He-Man said, "Hey." Singing the Four Non-Blondes song, "What's Up?" Is that it? Whatever. They used that song in the trailer from the He-Man meme. That's where I know that song from. I was so perplexed. I'm like, I know sometimes you use edgy or silly songs to sort of do a new take on the trailer and
Hmm.
like hype up certain scenes and whatnot on purpose,
Yeah.
even though the song is not used in the movie. This was just weird because it's Resident Evil. It's zombies chewing up people, and then you got like the He-Man song playing. I'm like, what is happening here? Watch the trailer after we're done, and let me
Okay.
know.
Yeah. No. No. I'll definitely do that. Maybe they're going for camp. Maybe they're going camping on
I
this.
hope so, because the more I look at it, I'm like, maybe it could work if it's just like paying homage to the games while having fun.
Yeah.
But the director for it, and the movie's called Welcome to Raccoon City, I think. Yeah, Welcome to Raccoon City. The movie is directed by Johannes Roberts. I hope I said that right.
Hmm.
And if you don't know who that is the dude that directed the shark movie. Shoot, what's it called? 47 Meters Down. Do you know about that one?
I know of it. I've never seen it.
It has a very famous scene where a shark attacks a girl and the shark roars underwater. I swear I'm not making that up. I didn't know sharks had that ability, but apparently they do in 47 Meters Down.
Stop. For real?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to look for the clip and I'm going to send it on our Omnibros chat so you can
Oh
see it.
my god, dude.
So that's why I don't think it's entirely camp on purpose. Because that guy also did 47 Meters Down, The Strangers, Pray at Night, The Other Side of the Door, Storage 24, F, Hellbreeder, Dark Hunters, Forest of the Damned. Not, it doesn't inspire confidence. I don't know.
No. No, this guy is not batting very well right now.
47 Meters Down, Shark Scene. All right. I can't play it because we'll probably get dinged with the algorithm, but you guys can Google it. Just search for 47 Meters Down, shark scene or shark roar or whatever. It's terrible. A couple more comments here before we wrap up. Mike Flanagan should make a Silent Hill movie. Now that's a good idea.
Yeah, please. Yes. Dude. God, yeah. I finished Midnight Mass the other day, and Jesus Christ, that is fantastic.
I want to see that. That looks
Oh,
fun.
dude, that is wow.
What's the other famous horror gaming franchise?
Uh,
Because there's Resident Evil, there's Silent Hill, but I'm missing something. Not the Dead Space or whatever, because that's a little bit too sci-fi ish because it's in
um,
space. But there's another one,
Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame. I think have they done movies for Fatal Frame? Because I think that would be cool if they did an adaptation.
I don't know. I want to say yes. I think they've done some Japanese movies, but I don't know for sure.
Fatal Frame. Fate. Fatal Frame movie. There's a Switchboard coming out. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, I've never played any of Frame games, but I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Japanese horror scares the crap out of me, so I want to play it, but I think I'm too scared to play it. Just putting that out there. I'm a scaredy cat. Geki Joban Zero the movie, also known as Fatal Frame the movie, is a Japanese horror film directed by Mari Asato, based on the novelization of the video game series.
Mm-hmm.
So a Japan only release. Interesting. I do want to play it. So maybe one day. I don't know. Oh, Parasite Eve. That'd be fun too.
That would be good. That would be very good.
As terrible as those Resident Evil movies were, I can't blame Paul W.S. Anderson for putting his wife as the lead. I would do it too if Mila Jovovich was my wife. I think we all would.
Yes, very much so.
The three Resident Evil CG films were better than the live action movies to me, plus they fit into the timeline of the games. I'd like to see a anime Resident Evil, like hand drawn, Madhouse style from the '90s, like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, that type of
Mm-hmm.
art style. That'd be dope.
Hey, dude, when are we supposed to get those Junji Ito anime on Adult Swim? That's supposed to be
Mm,
this year, right?
It got postponed to next year, next
Damn it!
October. Yep,
Damn it!
it's just Uzumaki. It's
Ugh.
what's cool about it is that it's being reworked as a feature length,
Mm-hmm.
supervised by Ito. So he reworked the script to make it shorter and I guess scarier.
Okay.
It was supposed to come out this October, but it got pushed back because of COVID.
Ito is just a lovely man. That is just a very sweet person.
Oh yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He's awesome.
He's such a
Please,
lovely
if you
dude.
have Twitter, follow him there. He's awesome. Did you watch Resident Evil Infinite Darkness on Netflix? I didn't care for it. Nope, I didn't
Nope.
watch anything. I had no idea they were on Netflix. I don't do Netflix. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, gang, that's about it. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I gotta go. I got other things to do. Did you guys read Ito's Censor? I haven't, but Lou did a cool video on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Lou, why don't you tell them about your channel and where people can find you so they can
Yeah,
watch
man.
that Censor video?
Comics Guide 101 on Twitter is where you can get a hold of me, and Comics Guide 101 on YouTube is where you can find my archive of videos. And I did a review of Censor, I want to say about 2-3 weeks ago. So you can catch that on there as well. I personally really dug the book. I thought it was great.
There you go. And you can find me on my channel. That's a Week in Geekdom. Fun stuff. Let me remind you once again that this show was brought to you by our wonderful sponsor, InStockTrades.com, your home for all collected editions, IST, as the kids like to say, where you can get your collected edition, whether it be an omnibus, manga, trade paperback, complete collection, whatever it may be, comic book wise, graphic novels, you get it at IST, In Stock Trades. Up to 50% off, loyalty discounts, tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you order $50 or more, you get free shipping. Also, 2 weeks from now, on the 25th, we will be doing a gift card giveaway valued at $50, open to international waters, all courtesy of InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor. Also, before we wrap up, you want to tell everybody about the Patreon?
Yeah, man. So this Saturday, Gabe and I will be doing a a Zoom call.
Nice.
That is patreon.com/omnibroslive, where for $5 a month you get to chat with Gabe and I and a few other members of the community. It's a blast. We have a lot of fun, and on top of that, it's pretty much uncensored. So Gabe and I can say whatever we want. We talk about whatever we want. We don't have to worry about things like that. Where on this show, we tend to hold back a little bit more. You also get the archive of old videos that we've done on that Patreon. Again, price of a cup of coffee. You get to hang out with us, and we always have a good time.
Yeah. Nice. So, gang, that's about it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to all the wonderful chatters. You guys are awesome. We love every single one of you. Thank you for supporting the show and making it happen. Hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. If this is your first time watching us, we'll be back tomorrow with a comic book talk video, and then we'll be back Monday for hauls, previews, reads, all that wonderful stuff. I've got to go. We've got to go. We'll catch all of you on the next episode. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Night, everybody.
Bye. 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 Cesar, ask that question tomorrow. Sorry that we're cutting it short, but thank you nonetheless for asking. Bye. Also, go watch 47 Meters Down for that roaring shark scene.